What will take the center stage in global discussion post-COVID-19? If we think of all these things, perhaps it will be economy that will take the center stage of our global discussion. Why would that be? If we look into this scenario, the current scenario, we all know that there has been a huge reorientation in the global economy. And we also know that many of our young people have left their job and returned back this time. We all know how we have been struggling with this very issue, the unemployment or employment issue throughout all these years. And now after post-COVID-19, it is going to hit us much more than before. And therefore, it is important to talk about economic management. We want to reflect the life of Joseph in Genesis chapter 41, verses 33 to 38. The context: Pharaoh had a dream. God spoke to Pharaoh of what it is to come in the future. He called all his intellectuals to come and interpret the dream. None could say anything about it. So Joseph was called in and he was asked to interpret the dream of Pharaoh. And Joseph told the king Pharaoh that the land of Egypt, the land which he is ruling, will be hit by famine so much so that people will really suffer. But before the famine period comes, the 7 years will be of year of abundance. And after the year of abundance is over, another 7 years of extreme famine will come. At the end of the story, we all learn that in Genesis chapter 41, verses 33 to 38, Pharaoh appointed Joseph as the officer in charge of his treasury. Today, we want to discuss on this topic, God's economic design, basing on this text, Genesis 41, verses 33 to 38. We will discuss 3 fundamental lessons from the above text. Number 1, investment. Verse 35 says, they should collect all the food of these good years that are coming and store up the grain under the authority of Pharaoh to be kept in the cities for food. Investment is what we see in this verse 35. Joseph instructed Pharaoh that these 7 years, 7 good years, should be a year of investment, should be a year of collection. Investment, if we look into the dictionary, it is done with the main objective of getting returns out of it or to have future benefits out of it. The 7 years of investment was to be done with the objective of returns, getting back, so that they will be able to survive in the 7 years extreme famine period. Let us also look at the biblical text of Matthew chapter 25 verse 15 about the parable of talent. If we look into this, we see 3 people. One person was given 5 talents. The second person was given 2 talents. And the third person was given 1 talent. What do we see from this? The economic principle that we can derive out of this parable of talent is this: that we must invest according to our caliber. The first person, according to his caliber, received 5 talents. He invested and God returned the double return, 5 talents, additional 5 talents. The second person invested and got 2 additional talents. But what about the third person? In economic term, If we look into the life of this third person, we can say in economic term, wrong investment is equal to no investment. Why? Because there is no return. The third person who received 1 talent invested, but he invested on something which did not give him any return. Therefore, in economic term, wrong investment can lead us, can make us equal to no investment. There is no return, there is no benefit. Therefore, to the young people, I want to throw these lessons to all of us, that we must invest according to our caliber. We must invest so that we get return out of our investment. Don't waste resources and time on something which we cannot become of unless it is a secondary occupation. Because in a professional world, age matters. It is important to start early. If you are NPSC material, I encourage you to pursue on that. If you are good in masonry, get your trainings on that. The whole point is this: start early. For whatever you want to become in life, you start early. That's the key point. To all the parents, I have this message: invest not only on the buildings or buying lands or cars and gadgets, but invest on human child development program. Invest on soft skills program. How can we let our children communicate to people? How can we help our children so that one day when they become entrepreneurs, business people, they will be customer friendly? Their behaviors, their habits, their lifestyle, their communication, everything will be customer friendly. How do we help our children to manage their stress and anger in any given situation? That is important, and we must invest our resources in this soft skill management. Number 2, God's economic design. Point number 2 is saving. Verse 36 says, "This food should be held in reserve for the country, to be used during the 7 years of famine that will come upon Egypt, so that the country may not be ruined by the famine." Verse 36 talks about saving or reserving resources. During the good years, 7-year period, they are supposed to cultivate and bring it so that they will collect it and reserve it, and they will be able to use when famine hit them. Daniel's formula of saving is 80% to be used for the current time and 20% to save for the future. The principle, the economic principle that we can derive out of this is simple. Do not finish eating everything today. Leave some for tomorrow. Reserve, saving is important. 20% of our current reserves are responsible for 80% of our future activities. The amount of earning does not really make a person rich. We may earn much, but when a person is flamboyant in using all the resources, that person can go into debt. But learning to save and utilize our wealth properly will help us see through, even at difficult times. A person who knows how to manage, how to use, how to utilize, can survive even during difficult times. Point number 3, management with moral principle. Verse 38 says, "So Pharaoh asked them, 'Can we find anyone like this, one in whom is the Spirit of God?'" Many intellectual people came to interpret the dream of Pharaoh, but all failed. Joseph, not only did he has the wisdom, the knowledge to interpret Pharaoh's dream, there was something different in his life. Pharaoh, a man who does not believe in this Yahweh, the living God of Israel, still found something different in this person: the Spirit of God. Joseph was honest. Joseph was a man of integrity, and Pharaoh saw that one in his life. What do we derive out of this? Educational degrees and trainings alone do not make a person good manager of resources. A person may earn so much in terms of degree, in terms of academic, but can be a failed person when it comes to economic or resource management. Why? Because it needs moral principles. Therefore, it is important to teach our children honesty, sincerity, gratitude, and the attitude of teachability. Without these qualities, our children, their study degrees are useless, for they will become misfits in the society. Do not steal. Example, do not steal. Exodus 20 verse 15. The Lord detests dishonest scales. Proverbs 11 verse 1. These are all based on moral integrity of economic resources. We teach our children how to calculate money, but have failed to teach them values of honesty in handling the resources. That is the irony our society is moving in. Stealing, dishonest profit-making, etc. are products of human greed. These are products of human sin. And greed is addictive, and greed is self-destructive. We don't need another person to come and destroy us, but our greed itself will destroy us at the end. We may seem to prosper initially by stealing, by making dishonest profit, but yet at the end of the day, that act itself, that greed itself will destroy us at the end. Lastly, I have two messages for our young people. Number one, the highest educational qualification is not your master's degree or engineering degree or passing through NPSC exams. The greatest degree in life is learning how to cook, wash your clothes, sweep the floor, learn how to use hammers and screwdrivers or other machineries, and of course, a little bit of common sense. When you have this degree, when you know how to do all these works, you can survive anywhere. Be it in the cities or be it in the forest, you can survive. But when you don't have this one, you may have high qualification degrees, but you will need somebody else to help cook for you. Number two, real exam does not happen in the classroom. But when you face different challenges in life and still finds a way to cope with it, that's the real exam. Our studies, our knowledge, the book knowledge, the classroom knowledge that we attain must have practical solution, therefore, to life's challenges. We will face different challenges in our life. The issue of unemployment or employment is a challenge for the young people. And we should not sit back and say, I don't have job. But the knowledge that you acquire from your textbook, from your classroom, must help you, must give you a practical solution to life's challenges. Economic management and sustainability, like I said in the beginning, is going to be a hot topic in the coming days, in the coming years. Therefore, we must give our best, not only to learn, to train ourselves how to earn, but also to reserve, to save, and to sustain our resources. Let God help us as we anticipate a different time ahead of us. God bless us all.